Thanks again for joining today's webinar on the EAC productivity apps. Like Zoe mentioned, my name is John and I'm a product manager here at EAC, and also will be with Carolina today, like Zoe mentioned, the creator of the apps and a member of our research and development team. And on our agenda today, we will briefly introduce EAC as the company and then quickly jump into the apps and do some Q&A at the end. So yeah, starting with EAC. So our mission here is to transform the way companies design, manufacture, connect to, and service their products. So to keep things simple, we help companies bring products to market with the right tools and resources to be successful. We offer a range of products and services, including CAD, simulation, product lifecycle, and service lifecycle management software, as well as Formlabs 3D printers. And in addition, EAC helps implement the Internet of Things and augmented reality into business strategies, offer help with design and engineering projects, along with providing training courses and webinars for continuous learning. All right, so enough about EAC. So starting with the why for the EAC productivity apps. So these apps were developed because we found a big problem that needed solving. The challenges we discovered was that Windchill data can be difficult to look up. We oftentimes hear from customers that they need to track down a Windchill expert to look up the information for them, which can be a time-consuming process. And also on a macro level, as we work in an increasingly digital world, employees across departments and geographies need to be able to collaborate more than ever. So by using the building blocks of PTC's ThingWorx Navigate, the EAC apps provide simplified and role-based access to Windchill data. Whether you are from engineering, manufacturing, marketing, or even purchasing, you can now access all this critical information within one simple interface without interrupting your peers. So some key functionalities such as product and part information search and change request creation and management, reporting and tracking information, all of this information can now flow seamlessly between the apps. So for example, an engineer can benefit with the apps by having an all-in-one system to gather all kinds of product information and provide advantages like a quick and easy way to manage design reviews within the design team, along with its history and task tracking for any corrections that may be needed. And in addition, another department such as project management that oversee design and engineering teams, they can also benefit from the apps by getting more visibility into changes that are in progress and offer that quick access to view things like pricing information, to keep track of budget or accessing documents related to the design. And all of these pieces become critical to the success of projects. So now that we've reviewed what the EAC apps are and the problems they help solve, I will pass it on to Carolina here, who will go through the demo portion of today's webinar. So Carolina, I'll let you take it away.
Awesome. Thank you, John. And so I'm going to give it a second for someone to scream at me and say, we can't hear you or we can't see your screen. And then I'm going to jump right in. So as John said, our role-based app. So I'm logged in as an administrator and I'm seeing all of the apps in my screen, but as in every role is going to show only the apps that you have access for. Also, as an administrator, I see my little pencil icons, which is where I do all of the tailoring for all of these apps. And when I hover on each one of these apps, it gives you a quick little overview of what each app does. And so the idea is that these are meant to be very easy to use. There shouldn't need to be much training for users to jump in and be able to reach information and grab information out of Windchill. And so everything is pretty self-explanatory. So I'm gonna kind of jump right in and throw a lot at you real quick. So we're gonna start with the first one, which is our quick search. And I like to call this our Google search. And that's because we search for WT parts, EPM documents, and WT documents in the same app. So this is a big difference from the out-of-the-box Navigate apps, if you're familiar with those. You have different apps to search for the two different WT documents and then for parts and EPMs. For us, we can search it all at once. You have a product filter, and then all of these options are basically turned on or off by your administrator for a specific role. We can rename these filters as well. So let's say that your company does not use WT parts, but you refer to EPM documents as parts. We could rename this to be called part and remove that one. So you're really just using the language that you're already used to, and there's not really a learning curve to use these. So I've gone ahead and I've done a search, and you can see that I've got all the different types in the same results list. which we don't really have in the out-of-the-box apps. And as I make my selections, you see additional information about that object here on the side. So all of the attributes are configured by the admin for the role, for the specific type. Windchill is always a click away, whether it's a little icon or double clicking on a grid, any grid that you see, you're always going to go to that Windchill object. So it's always in the background for us. For WT documents, we're going to see primary contents and attachments, and we're going to have the ability to click and download these straight away. And then we have areas for customization. And so this is a big differentiator from out of the box Navigate, which is the ease of customization. A lot of our customers say, hey, Navigate is great. It gets us 90% of the way there, but that last 10% is so painful because we just can't customize it, and then we have to maintain the customization. So we've built EAC apps with the thought of, we're going to have customizations. We want to support them and we want to make them easy. So anywhere that you see this message, that means that's a supported customization that gets created. And then when you upgrade, it's absolutely seamless. You don't have to do anything about it. Our upgrade tool takes care of putting that back in for you. You'll also see indication of whether it's the latest part or not. If it's not, you would see a nice little shortcut to open the latest version. So I'm going to pop open here a WT part and a drawing side by side so we can see the differences. Again, the attributes are configured per object type, so you can show what's actually necessary. And then another little customization hook is the ability to display third-party information seamlessly within the Windchill information. So in this case, we could have been looking for cost and quantity and stock at a third party and displaying it to the user, and they have no idea that it's coming from somewhere else, but it's all in here in once. For the parts and the EPM documents, we see our representations. If we have multiple representations, we have the ability to select. We can open it in Creo View directly from here, so I can go create a markup, do something with it. And if I have additional files being created, I can download them straight from here. So I can get my PDF, I can get my IGS, whatever it is that I need. And again, areas for customizations in both of these and your latest indicator. On the bottom here, you'll see that we have a shortcut. And so what this is going to let me do is it's going to let me open this specific part in one of the other apps, or I can send an email link for this specific part in this app. So this would open my email client, and I'd be able to email this out to someone real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and just open it for now. So I'm going to open it in our quick access. This is our second app. So this is one of our more robust apps, and you'll see a lot of the similar features that we had in quick search. So it's really easy once you learn how to use one. It's kind of easy to use the other. We also have a nice little feature on this one where if you use end items, you don't even have to know a part number because you can use the drop downs and you can search from here. In this case, I've already searched, I've already have the part that I want, so I don't have to worry about this. So on the bottom here, we'll see the structure for that specific assembly. So I can start drilling down and I can start finding additional information as I need. And then for whatever I have selected on here, it's kind of going to update the information around it. And so if I wanted to look at the where used as well, I could swap that over. If I wanted to export the structure in a indented CSV format, I can do that. I can select what attributes I'm going to export it with. Again, our little latest indicator and our shortcut. And so you'll see there's a lot of little pieces that get repeated throughout these apps. And these are all what we call components. And so different from out of the box Navigate components where it's building blocks that you have to build within ThingWorks and there's development involved. These are just little building blocks of functionality, little chunks of functionality that you can kind of turn on and off in the different apps and place them in the different apps. So maybe there's some information that you see on this app that you would like to see in another app. You don't have to customize it. You can grab that building block and put it in that other app just by tailoring. And so we'll see a lot of these components. This is our smallest component that I like to call the biggest impact, because this little guy will tell you if there are any open change objects for this entire assembly. So this is not something that we can easily see in Windchill, but it basically says for this entire assembly, these are all the change objects that are open for it. So don't mind my demo server with a lot of them, but as we select the different change objects, we can see which ones are the relevant affected objects for that change object that exists in this assembly. And I can go ahead and open the change object details page and see more information about that. And we'll look at this later, just mind it. Keep a reminder that this exists here. I could look at closed objects. So if this doesn't have any open objects, but only closed, it would show a slightly different color icon, and you'd still be able to see which ones have been closed. And if there's no change objects, you would see a different icon that would say, hey, you're good, there's nothing changing here. So really powerful tool if you're working on something and you want to make sure they're working on the latest, that there's no issues going on. On this side over here, again, same component that we saw in the other app, or representations, the ability to open a Creo view, download any additional files if they existed, swapping from the different representations. And then we have our related drawings component, which will actually search for related drawings for your selection in this assembly, and it will display it to you. You can select between however many drawings it has, and again, open it in Creo view, download PDFs. And this component could be placed in the app that we just saw beforehand. So for example, if you just wanted someone to be able to grab the part and find the drawing real quick, and you wanted to put this on the other app, click tailoring to make that happen. On the bottom here, these again, all components that can be placed in other apps, and out of the box for this specific app, we come with the markups. So this is going to show any markups that are related to the part, as well as markups related to the related drawing. So you'll see that I've got a markup for the related drawing here as well. And it's a tailoring to turn on and off. You can open it in Creo view. Related documents, again, ability to see referenced and described by documents, click and download primary contents, show or hide and download attachments. And then we've got problem reports. So it's a little bit different than that little icon up top. This is showing just for my selection. So it's just for this top assembly. I'm seeing all the problem reports for it, change requests, change notices, and variances. So these are all going to look very similar before the different change object types. And then I've got a little custom area. And so the beauty here is you could remove every single one of these out of the box components, and you can have 4 or 5 different custom viewing options. And it could look exactly what you need to look. You can show just the information that you need to show for each role. Over here on this side, this is another key differentiator between EAC apps and out-of-the-box apps. We have the ability to create not just problem reports, but also change requests and variances. And again, it's slightly different from the out-of-the-box. We do support soft types. So you can see that I've got 2 of my problem report types in here that I can create. And we do support soft attributes, which is a big thing for us. And so I'm going to have the same information that I get on the Windchill screen. I'll have the same options over here, and I can make my selections. I can select all the information that I need. I can put my description, and then multi-valued attributes as well are supported. And once I'm done, I can hit that create button, and it's going to create that change object for me. So I've just initiated a problem report, and I haven't even looked in Windchill. So maybe that shop floor person that needs to be able to say, hey, there's something wrong here, but we don't want to teach them how to use Windchill. This is a great tool for them to be able to get information back to engineering, get information back into the PLM system, not have to learn how to use Windchill. I can add attachments and go ahead and submit the problem report directly from here, but say, oh, actually, I made a mistake. I should have done something slightly different here. So let me go look at the one that I just created. I can come back and I can edit it. So I can say, oh, this was actually a different issue. I can submit it. I can change what objects I have attached to it. I can add additional objects or remove, add annotations, add attachments to the problem report itself, and do all of that from EAC Apps. Have not touched Windchill. And again, here we can add attachments, we can submit, and then we also have that little details view button that we saw earlier, and we're going to look at it later again. And so again, as I make my different selections on here, everything around is going to highlight based on what I've got selected. And so I want to go ahead and use the shortcut to open this subassembly in my BOM Reports app. So this is our third app. BOM Reports is also going to show you a parts list view. So a little different than Quick Access is it's a non-indented structure. It is defaulted to only show the parts. So you're not going to see subassemblies by the out-of-the-box default, but you can turn it on as an administrator. So if you just wanted to see maybe the first level BOM, you could do that here. And again, a lot of the same similar search features. You learn it for one app, you've got it for all of them, some of the similar components. But the key here is this assembly breakdown, visual representation for whichever attribute that you want to configure for that role. So maybe I want to see how far are we from getting this thing released, right? How many objects are in work versus released? Or if I had a make or buy that I wanted to configure in here, what percentage of this assembly is actually outsourced? What percentage of it is made in-house? I have the ability to quickly filter that information. And you'll see right here on this side, we've got a cost roll-up feature as well. So this is for any cost information that you have in Windchill. Maybe you've got a design cost in there and you're trying to figure out what it's going to look like. You have this ability to do this cost roll-up. You have the ability to add your filters or even filter here and see that filtered cost here as well. And again, area for customization. So any of those other features that you've seen in the other apps, oh, maybe I want to see my related documents in this app. I can pop it in here. Once I make my selection, I would see my related documents in here. So really nice building block, putting things where you need them to be, hiding things where they don't need to be seen, and just making it very, very easy for the end user. So now I'm going to jump into the part associations, and I highly encourage you guys to write your questions up as it comes up, and I will touch on all of them at the end. I do see a question coming up, but I'll touch on everything at the end. Part associations is going to be our only parts-centric app. And so this is only going to search for parts, and we'll see why here in a second. And this is where I'm highlighting the ability of searching on soft attributes and things that are other than name and number. Another big change from the out-of-the-box apps, we can only search on number and name. We can search on any soft attribute here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and search on the soft attribute EAC, company name, and we're going to pull up that assembly that we've been looking at for most of the demo. And you'll see that this is a WT part-centric app because we're looking at the related objects tab for a WT part with access to a lot more information. And so you'll get configured attributes and shortcuts, representations for all of your related EPM documents. So you'll see your contents, your owners, and then you'll also see your described by documents and your reference documents and the ability to download all of these things in one click. In Windchill, you would have had to open a number of different parts to get to this. And then let's say that now I wanted to go look at this document specifically in another app, then I can go ahead and use a shortcut and open it to the other app. So we still have the ability to get around, but we try to give you all the information that you need in the one screen. Then we're going to start jumping into our change management apps, and this is very different from out of the box because out of the box apps, we don't have any apps that are going to deal with change management, with the exception of completing the online change review task. So our task management app is actually going to allow you to complete any tasks that you have within any change object inside of Windchill. So by default, it's going to show you all of your open tasks. For a regular user, we would usually hide this filter. For more of a change admin person that maybe wants to see everything that's currently open in the system, you can show them this filter and they can look at all of the tasks and they can get a little bit of reporting over here based on, what's the status, what's still open, what are the different roles, and get information. For the end user, just me, I just want to look at what tasks I have open. I can come in here, I can look at that. Maybe I like to work based on my role, so I can filter on, everything that I'm a change admin for, I'm going to work on that right now. Or one thing that I love doing is I've got all these potential tasks that came in and I have to go accept all of these guys in Windchill one by one. In our apps, you can multi-select and you can accept these tasks all at once. And so now, if I had selected everything, I just got my to-do list for today in 2 clicks. Windchill, you would have had to go on into every single individual task to accept it, right? And then if I wanted to do them one by one, if I do have routing options that I have to complete, then I can come in here and I can say, hey, this is not happening. I'm going to do this again. And you can complete your tasks directly from here. And I can just do these one after the other. And I don't have to open multiple screens in Windchill to do so. If I need access to my instructions, I've got them up here. And then if I do need more information, we have the ability to look at our task details and our change object details. So this is the button that I've been waiting to click on for a while. We're going to wait one more second. So I'm going to look at the task details first. So this is going to give me a better overview of the task itself. And again, pay attention to a lot of areas for customization, right? So I've got task information. If I needed more information, I could add it here. I've got my affected objects. And if I wanted additional information about those, I could add them here. And so let's say that now I wanted to see the related drawings for these objects. They're not really attached to this problem report at all, but I can put them here in the same screen for that user that doesn't necessarily know how to get to it on the Windchill side. So very, very powerful features to be able to put the information that you need on your fingertips all at once. And then the very much awaited change object details button. This is going to show you the change object details page. And so you can get to this page from all of those other areas. And it's going to give you, again, information about the change object, configured attributes based on the role. If it's your object, like this one is, I can edit it, add customizations, and then you have a list of all the tasks, what's been completed, what's still open, all of your affected objects. If you have related change objects to this one, you can see them here too, and I can go ahead and open this page for that object instead. If I have attachments, I can have them here as well, and if it's mine, I can add the attachment. And then a nice little thing is that you've noticed there's areas for customization everywhere. And so I've got an example here. This is not out of the box, but I've configured in our markup component into this app. So now as I make my selections for the affected objects for this problem report, I see the markups for these objects, even though they're not necessarily attached to the problem report. So again, really, really powerful tool. And close these guys. I'm going to jump into the, I clicked the wrong thing, on the change management app. So all of these shortcuts on the bottom are when I want to open my app without being for a specific object. And you'll see that I've got all of the different change objects over here. Again, ability to rename these. If you don't call them problem reports, we can rename them all of the apps so there's no learning curve for your users. And this is a nice little overview for especially like a change management role, manager role, where they want to see the current status of the system. We're defaulted to everything that's open. I have a visual representation based on different attributes that I can configure for the role. And so maybe you start getting a little bit of an idea of where are more of your issues being created from. And then you can also get quite a bit of reporting just on, let's say that I wanted to see everything that's been closed within the last month or within the last year. I can select that. I can hit my refresh, and now I've got everything that was closed within the last year. And I can get a little bit more information about it. I can also export it into a CSV file if I needed to do additional formatting to that data or additional manipulation to the data. And again, area for customization. So if there were things that we wanted to add that we don't have, we could. We have a hook in here to make that a supported customization. Your change object details page, again, also always at a click away, and the ability to even create these change objects directly from here if we wanted to. Then looking at our last app for our desktop series, we're looking at the report viewer. And so this is a window into our Windchill reports. This app was actually born from a need of one of our customer CEOs that needed to run a monthly report and just struggled with getting through the sheer amount of reports that she would see in Windchill, and there was just too many things. And she's like, can I just go to one page and click one button and get my report? And so this app, you can hide the different sections. And so for her case, we had just the saved reports section that's showing, was just the one report that shows. And when she comes in here, she can select the report and run it in Windchill. So we're not running the reports in the apps, we're just opening them, opening the Windchill side for it, as you can see. But it does take away a lot of that Windchill confusion from some of those users that just, they rely on this information, but they don't want to learn how to use Windchill to get it. Nice little powerful tool on this one here as well. Then I'm going to pop in here. So you'll see this little icon on the corner. This is our mobile app. And so we've got one app that's right now in beta mode. It's new. And watch me click the wrong thing. I'm going to pop my developer tools on so we can look at what it would actually look like on a mobile screen. And so the idea is to give you access to information on the go. And if you need something quick, come in here, come into my mobile search. It's a similar app to quick search, not to be confused with quick search. They are tailored differently. They can be tailored differently. And I can come in here and I can select something, I can view it. And I've actually done this on my phone. It's pretty nice. If you've got a representation in here, you download the PDF, you can annotate it on your phone and then forward it to someone. But if maybe you don't need to annotate it, you can just hit this share button and directly email a link to a coworker that says, hey, yeah, I know I'm at lunch, but this is the part that you're looking for. So really quick to get information and send it around if you're on the go. Come back in here, back to the home page. So we're going to look at a little bit, every single one of these apps are tailored individually in the tailoring icons, and there's a lot of options for each one of these apps. And on the main tailoring here, there's another tool that gets shipped with our apps that is very, very powerful, and it's called our user management. And if you are a ThingWorx user or a out-of-the-box Navigate user, you know that managing groups, managing users in ThingWorx can be painful. It's just Composer can get clunky and there's a lot of things that you need to remember. So this tool was born out of just wanting to make things easier, right? So first thing you'll see is a list of all of your users and the ability to add groups, remove groups, delete them, edit the home page, and then you'll see this little table on the bottom, which is your conflicts and unique issues. And so a lot of times we have, even with the out-of-the-box Navigate, we have admins that say, hey, my user is logging in, they're not seeing what I expect them to see, what's going on. A lot of times they're just missing a license group or they're missing a Navigate group. And so this is going to tell you all of those little issues for your server, and it's going to let you clear them out right away. So it tells me, hey, this guy doesn't have a license group. And I was like, oops, I forgot to set this up. So I'll just add it, go ahead, done. Now I can just finish clearing all of these issues and make sure that my conflicts and issues table is cleared out, and that's going to resolve 80% of some of the issues that we see on the Navigate side, including the duplicate user issue that if you are a Navigate out-of-the-box user happens a lot with the auto user creation. So we've created a tool to be able to turn off the auto user creation and remove the duplicate issues by allowing admins to create users directly from Windchill. So this shows me all my Windchill users that are not currently in my ThingWorx server. I can assign all of the different groups, I can assign their home mashups, and I can just mass create users without having to use the out-of-the-box tool that does result in duplicate users. On the group side, we have this nice view of all of your groups, and you have the ability to open these up and see where users are. And if I have to change a user from a group, I can remove them from here and I can add them right here. Just a few clicks. I don't have to open a number of entities on the ThingWorx side. So very, very powerful tool for admins on the ThingWorx side. And then lastly here, we have our EAC roles deploy button. And so what this is a lot of the roles that we see our customers using our apps with. So operations, procurement, production. And what this does is it allows you to deploy this role, which means it's going to create that group for you. It's going to deploy visibility for only the apps that you see here. Any key tailoring, such as these guys, for example, are only going to see release objects. So this is already pre-tailored. And I click the button to deploy the group, and it does everything that it needs to do in the background. And it's a starting point for you to start tailoring your different roles. So once I close out of here, you'll see I've just created my group and deployed all the tailorings all within one click of a button, and it starts you off on that journey. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of this guy for now, and I'll show you one last thing. In this newest release of our apps, we have a nice little new tool where in your local machine, you have the ability to make a text selection and hit a hotkey that will automatically open the apps for you. So it's going to search for your highlighted term in quick search. And if it contains, in this case, it's a PDF, it's a tailored file extension. If it contains a PDF, it's going to automatically open that PDF for me. So the beauty of this is if I'm, working through a parts list like I just was, and I was like, oh, I would love to see this drawing. If I had to go look for this in Windchill, it would have not taken the 3 seconds that you just saw happen. So it's really nice to be able to get that information real quick and super simple. And you'll see that quick search is open in the background. So if I wanted to do this with, let's say, my part number, so any object that you're configured to search for in quick search, you're going to be able to use this little applet with. So this case, I don't have a PDF here, so I just see my results, but now I can go and find the information that I need directly from here. And all of this is made possible by this little quick link download here. So your users can go in here and download this tool. And it's just a little thing that runs in the background and very, very easy to get access to information directly from a PDF, an Excel, or whichever other file type. And I believe that is all I had. And I talked through this real quick because there's so much that I want to show, and there's probably more, and I wish I could show you more. So I'm going to pop open the chats and Q&As, and I'm going to look through this and try to answer some of these. Okay, so what version of ThingWorks are you running? And so, okay, this is actually a really great question. So I'm running ThingWorks 9.3. We have version compatibility information on our website, and I'll pull this up. So if you go to EAC website and you scroll down under the EAC productivity apps, you get to our brochure, and we have information on version compatibility and what versions of the apps are compatible with what versions of Navigate. We do have older versions that are compatible with older Navigate versions. So if you're running 9.2 or 9.1, you can get on one of our older EAC Apps versions and then eventually upgrade to the newest ones. We try to support at least a few versions at a time. But again, keeping in mind that PTC doesn't always support the ThingWorks versions for more than, I believe it's 1 year right now. The other question is it possible to pull data in from sources other than Windchill to include in the individual apps? So yes, as we saw right here, it's actually right in the background. So this is a hook. It is a customization. We would have to put in place the piece to query your third-party information, but it does get seamlessly put into the apps, and once you upgrade, you don't have to worry about it again. And then we have the same question: if I have information by part in other systems, can I connect to those other systems and display in this with Windchill data? So yes, absolutely. Then we have a question on how about supplier management? Not sure what you mean by that question. If you want to ask it again, we do anything that you're using for Windchill. So we've had customers think about using our apps as a supplier portal, because it just makes it a lot easier for suppliers. And everything that you have access to in Windchill, you have to access to in the apps. So if that answers your question, let me know. If not, just ask it again, please. And see here. And I think I have to mark these as answered. These are all the questions that I'm seeing. Oh, pricing model. Okay, so great question. Again, our pricing model goes by tiers. And so again, on the website, you'll be able to find information on pricing. And so it starts as low as $2,000 a year for 1 to 25 users. We have our view and our author tiers. So everything that you've seen in terms of creation of change objects and completing tasks, that would be part of our author pieces, but everything else is also available as a view tier. And so I encourage you to go to our website for more information on pricing. And I'm just trying to make sure that I'm keeping. Where are you presenting from that is 6:30 p.m.? This is my server, and the time is just the server time. Okay, I think I've covered all of these. If there are no other yes. So the question that just came through is, does the pricing include upgrade and maintenance? So yes, it's a subscription price that you pay yearly. And so as you upgrade, we will help you with upgrades. They're very simple. We've made it so that you can kind of save all of your tailoring, save all of your things, and redeploy them. We run on a biannual release schedule right now. So we have releases twice a year as of right now. It could change. And we always have new features that we're adding to the apps, and you have accessibility to upgrade whenever you want to. And then can I have the presentation? So the webinar is being recorded, and I believe Zoe will send out the link to the recording to everyone that was in here today. We'll be making this available for you guys.
Yes, that will be emailed out within 24 hours. So yes.
Okay, so the other question is, if I need to show a demo of this to my management, how do I schedule one? Great question. Get in contact with Zoe or John or myself, and we will get you in contact with the right people to do so. But I also believe, Zoe, correct me if I'm wrong, but even just coming to our website and going into the little chat feature, you can do that, and we'll get you in contact with the right person.
Yeah, definitely. I'll drop all of our emails as well into the webinar chat, so you can contact us directly as well. Thank you. Or excuse me, tripping over my words. But I also, in the webinar chat, I dropped the apps brochure link, and as well as the compatibility matrix landing page. And I'll also be sure to email this all out as well.
And you can find all of this on our website. This is just eacpds.com. You go to productivity apps, you've got your brochure, all the information is in here. I think that covers all of the Q&A. I will give it another couple of seconds, but then I'll let John take this back up.
Yeah, we have a lot of time left. So if there's anything that, people want to see again, I believe we have the time to cover that. Oh, there's another question, Carolina.
Yep. So do you get info from ERP system? Yes, we can get information from any third-party system. This is the beauty of things, is connecting all the different platforms. So we can query information. It's not out of the box features. It's something you would have to develop for your specific application, for your specific ERP system. But yes, we can apps. Again, on the website, you'll be able to find information on pricing. And so it starts as low as $2,000 a year for 1 to 25 users. We have our view and our author tiers. So everything that you've seen in terms of creation of change objects and completing tasks, that would be part of our author pieces, but everything else is also available as a view tier. And so I encourage you to go to our website for more information on pricing. The pricing include upgrade and maintenance. So yes, it's a subscription price that you pay yearly. And so as you upgrade, we will help you with upgrades. They're very simple. We've made it so that you can kind of save all of your tailoring, save all of your things, and redeploy them. We run on a biannual release schedule right now. So we have releases twice a year as of right now. It could change. And we always have new features that we're adding to the apps, and you have accessibility to upgrade whenever you want to.
Thanks, Carolina. Thank you, everyone who joined today's webinar. We really appreciate you joining us this afternoon, and hope you learned or enjoyed learning more about the EAC apps. A lot of good questions today, a lot of great dialogue. If you'd like to get more information, like we mentioned before, please feel free to visit our website at www.eacpds.com and just search for EAC productivity apps, and you should be able to retrieve the information you're looking for.